All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Taneytown Athletic Association meeting for March 13th, 2025. All right, so we'll start with association reports. It's going to be a small meeting, so just to give people a heads up, we were scheduled to meet last night, and there was another meeting for City Council that had to transpire, so not everybody would be in attendance. So we have Kyle.
Okay. I'm Kyle from soccer, and we have 456 players registered. So splitting that up, we have one elite team, which is high schoolers. We have 10 Ursel teams, which is U10 through U14. And then we have 27 in-house teams, which is our clinic, U6, U8, and then we do have U10 for that as well. Our in-house registration is actually open still until till tomorrow. It closes at midnight, so we might get a few more, but I think we're set around that number. Trying to think what else. So we have Scrimmage Fest coming up on March 29th. You can book the pavilion for that day. I meant to email you too. And then we also have opening day coming up on April 5th. We are utilizing 6 fields at Robertsville Park, 4 at Memorial Park, and 4 at Northwest Middle School.
A lot of kids. Unbelievable. When you said that number, that's crazy. I mean, the program has really expanded, and
new record.
That's amazing.
And just to clarify for general public, when Kyle mentioned playing at Memorial Park, they're using the large grassy flat overflow parking area that, that's what we've used in the past. That's between the houses on Baltimore Street and the tennis court.
Oh, you're really using, okay.
Yeah, actually, Stephanie proposed that idea, and I thought it was a pretty good one because without, dedicated field space right now, we're just going to have to use every spare inch that we can find that's level and that's playable.
That's crazy. Yeah. Do you have goals that you have to take back and forth, or is it just?
So we worked out a deal with football that we were able to store them there in the off season.
Okay,
so
good. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions for soccer? Is there anything you needed to ask Lorena for anything? I know that.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I talk to her often, so.
Well, yeah, with 456 kids, I bet you do. Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
All right. All right, thank you. All right, then we'll just jump to. Oh, that's right. You have 2 updates?
I do.
Okay.
Lacrosse was not able to make it. They've got practice running, but they did submit a report. They are having their opening weekend this weekend. That's exciting. They're planning on having food trucks at their home games again this year. And they are working on finalizing their cooler raffle to start selling tickets for that. And they have games every weekend from now through May. That is lacrosse's report. And then field hockey, they are going to be opening registration for the fall season next week. They are going to be putting their registration signs around town. They've got to get their sign permit. But they'll be all set with that. Their registration is through Stone Alley and will be open until June 30th. They are planning on having 2 open field nights in May or June for any past, present, or new players to come out and have some fun and learn some new skills. If anyone is interested in the club hockey, the field hockey club is looking for a few 14U players. They're still in need of a field maintenance person and some additional assistants and head coaches. That's their report.
Okay, thank you. And if you want to take a breath, and then I guess we'll jump into
Sure.
Update on Memorial Park.
Yes. So I wish I had better news about this, but, and I feel like I say that every time, but, Arrow's continuing to work with State Highway on getting that connector road approved. So the problem and what they're holding out on right now is, so that's that sidewalk that they wanted us to put in from St. Joe's Church all the way down to the connector road. Well, obviously, because that's an impervious surface, it's gonna have stormwater runoff. State highways regulation, or their limit, is 1% runoff. With that sidewalk, the whole project comes out to 1.2. And they will not budge on the 0.2. 0.2. So we are trying to set up a meeting with some state highway representatives out there on site, and we'd like to propose either we take that sidewalk away and then we're well under the limit, or if they really want us to put that sidewalk in, they give us leeway on that 0.2%.
Right.
But regardless, that's where we are on that. The easement deed for the new stormwater piping that has to go across the adjacent Renahan property, that's been prepared. The Renahans have agreed for us to take that piping right across their property to the outlay. Right now, there's a tiny little pipe on the one side of their property that gathers like stormwater runoff that comes down from the cemetery and everything. And then it goes under their property, and then it just kind of leaks out onto the other adjacent property. So, yeah, with building this connector road, we'd be putting a little culvert in there. So we'll have to redo the piping under the Renahan property to make it adequate to handle, the culvert and the flow there. But they've agreed, and we've prepared it. So the city attorney, he's reviewed it. He had a couple of comments. So we've got to go to the county about one thing, and then I think we'll be okay on that. The sewer rehab project that was done, part of it went through the park. That's all finished now. So we're good to go on that. We are keeping that dirt stockpile. Right now it's situated back there behind Field 1 on the expansion part, because we can use that to fill in on grading and such. So, and that's all I have. Those are the only updates I have at this time. We're hoping to get that meeting with State Highway, scheduled quickly, unless Arrow says to them, look, okay, basically the same proposition. Keep the sidewalk, give us leeway on the 0.2%, or take the sidewalk away and we're under, and you can approve it. If they want to do that on their own, like over the phone or via email or something like that, so that we don't have that, all the better, it'll be quicker.
But they were pushing for the sidewalk?
Yes. Initially, when Arrow first reached out to their contact at SHA, at State Highway, about the connector road, that person told the Arrow representative, oh, that's fine. Yeah, you can do that. As long as you put in a sidewalk from St. Joe's Church down to this connector road. And they had mentioned something about a crosswalk, but I think we had gotten that off the table or whatever, because that's on their road, basically. So Arrow engineered the plans with the sidewalk, and that's where the stormwater runoff issue then was coming in. And again, the first consultant from State Highway reviewed everything, and we were so close, to getting the stamp of approval on it, and then they changed the review consultants. So now the new consultants are really focused on the stormwater runoff and such. So that's where we are.
How long does that take to usually get a meeting to talk to anybody about?
I'm hoping that maybe they'll be amenable to just the agreement via email or, on the phone or
Yeah, that
whatever
would be
in
good,
writing,
like a Zoom.
so that they
Yeah.
don't have to come out
Yeah,
to a
just so-
meeting, or something
correct.
like that. Or they could turn around and they could say, nope, no meeting, and yeah, you've got to meet the 1%.
Right.
We'll have to go back to the drawing
That's
board on
frustrating.
that and see
Yep.
what else we can do to, Arrow's done everything they can think of to try to get it down to 1%. And the best they've been able to do is 1.2, which I think is pretty good, but, so we'll see.
Okay.
Ideally, I'd love to get all of this wrapped up in the next couple of months and get that RFP out there so we
Yes.
can take advantage of good weather
Absolutely.
get this construction going. I mean, I know it's super frustrating for you guys waiting, on fields that, are so desperately needed.
Yeah. Um, budget.
Yes, yeah. Fiscal year 2026 budget. So the draft budget was submitted to the city manager and the treasurer, awaiting a meeting to discuss anything that they might want to discuss with me. The 25,000 was the Taneytown Athletic Association funding pool. And I want to thank everyone who got their requests in and worked with me on the funding distribution, and let everyone know when the budget is approved. And then as we get closer to July 1st, I'll work with everybody, just reconfirm what items, are, where we're focusing that money, and if I need to order anything, order anything just to finalize all that and double check that before we spend the money.
Okay,
So that's where we are on that.
perfect. Any questions with that, Kyle, at all, or you good? Okay. All right. Field maintenance for new business?
Yeah, new business. So as everybody knows, we have spent quite a bit of time and funding trying to improve our fields, keep them safe and playable. And we do want to be careful about who uses those fields. So sometimes outside organizations will request to use our fields. They do have to complete and submit a special event permit application. We always check with TAA to make sure the fields are available. And I know in the past, well, for soccer, I know, what was it, Gettysburg Youth Soccer Club came in for a tournament and used those fields at Roberts Mill, and that was great. It was mutually beneficial there. You guys were able to run the snack shack and do a couple of other things, so that's good. But we also want to take into consideration what the organization is going to be using the fields for. I just don't want anybody coming in and ripping things up when we've
Right.
invested
We're
so
investing
much.
money.
Right, and
You don't want
our
somebody
athletic organizations,
are putting in the hard work to
right,
maintain it.
and using
Yeah.
these fields, they come in the next day after some outside organization weekend event and the field's trashed. I mean, that's not fair, to them or really to anyone. So we do want to be very careful about that. And we
Has
have.
it been happening more often than, have we had really bad instances where?
No,
you're
not
just
really.
like-
There
or
was
do
an
we flag organizations if, we
Yes,
notice?
yeah, we would.
Okay.
There was an organization who came in to use the football field, and, they were okay about it, but, there was some fill-in that needed to be done on the field after they were finished with it. The one organization actually asked to use the football field for a football game this spring. Actually, I think it was this month, but lacrosse is they've already lined the fields for their season and everything like that. So, and they're using it. So it was kind of, sorry, can't accommodate you at this time. So,
Okay.
and conversely, if we put it out there with a request of, whomever, XYZ organization wants to use the fields at whatever, Roberts Mill Park on this day, if you guys know anything about these organizations, if had any that is not good, then definitely let us know, so we can make that informed decision.
Contract with I know they have to put a special event permit in there, but is there anything else that they sign saying that they're responsible for any damage?
Yes, yeah, they have to so they submit the permit fee, they have a security deposit, and then they have to sign all kinds of, waivers. They have to provide a certificate of insurance so that if there is damage, that we have recourse.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
We were covering everything.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then as far as general conditions go, mowing frequency, mowing height, that kind of stuff. If anybody has any requests about that, please pass them on to me, I'll be happy to pass it on to the mowing company, Eckers. They're generally very good with accommodating those requests. Like if there's a big tournament one weekend and you want the grass cut on Friday, instead of in the middle of the week, they're good about that. And also a quick note on the porta pots. So we've ordered in the extra units for the sports season. That's 2 extra at Roberts Mill that go up behind the fields there by Food Lion. There's one at THS Park along Roberts Mill Road near the fields there. And then 2 at Memorial. And we just shuffle those around wherever we need them. So, but that's about all we can accommodate. If anybody has any big tournaments or games that they want extra units for, or we can move some around that we already have in our inventory, but if more are needed, then the organization's gonna need to contract on their own the units that they need. All over. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So for you guys playing in that grassy area, there's going to be at least one by across like near the football field, across area or whatever by the press box. Then there's going to be one further down near the field house, the kitchen area. Then you've got the ones that are in the middle there between the playgrounds. Yes, those are always there. There are a couple more down by the baseball snack shack along Park Drive, and then there's more back by baseball field 1 as well. Yeah. So. Moving between park and park, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yes, yeah, yeah. I think we could, our guys can lift it and get it, as long as they can get it up on a truck and then down off the truck, they could probably. Yeah, right.
Right. But if you
Yeah,
have, if you
right.
have big events coming up, definitely jot the dates down so Lorena can talk to the guys, because who knows, and they've been
Yes, yeah,
super busy.
okay.
Because we are
Ooh, yeah, yeah, I know, I know.
To make nice with Food Line, yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Any questions in regards to that? Come on up here, Kyle.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
You have to jump on up.
So for field maintenance, I know this is hard to do, but we've been chasing a lot of kids off the fields because they're hanging on the goals. We've called the police before, but I don't know if there's anything else we can do or that the city can do, just because like they were on those new sod, like running up, and I'm like, if you're gonna play here, can you play over there?
Right.
So,
Unfortunately, there isn't, not without having a security guard
right, which is
there, which
not-
like, hey, don't hang on those goalposts, or on the goals there, or tear the nets, or, tear up the fields, yeah, unfortunately. Even with cameras, and I know we're planning on getting some more cameras there on just the fields, in addition to the other cameras we have in that park. But even with that, I'd have to be watching it, and then call the police. Hey, there's some kids,
Yeah, I know it's not
Yeah.
like we can't keep eyes on it all the time, but like it's.
Yeah.
Is there any signage
I don't.
there? Even if we had
Expect equipment,
or, yeah, I don't know.
not a gym. Yeah.
There's an old-time remedy. A can of Crisco
Oh,
on the crossbars.
oh my.
They can't hang on them.
Oh dear. My gosh.
And Bill comes up with.
That's,
Right?
that comes from history.
Yeah, oh my, right.
Oh, I love it. I would have loved to have
My
been there.
gosh, yeah.
That was done
I've
on
had that to my
football
budget.
goalposts
Oh
and soccer
boy,
goalposts.
yeah, really.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 cases of Crisco, right? Oh my, yeah. Wow. Well, that is an interesting
Yeah,
take.
olive oil.
Hey, it's what they
yeah.
do in Philadelphia to the light poles.
Oh,
You keep them,
I can
keep the
imagine
fans
that.
from climbing the light
Right,
poles.
oh my lord.
Work very well sometimes.
No.
I was gonna
Apparently
say,
it did not the last, yeah.
yeah. I mean, even if we put up signs though,
I know.
how many rule signs do we have out? How many, you know, and they don't, they'll do whatever they want to do. They, fortunately.
Our fields guys have kind of said, like, just, you know, back to me, and I'm like, well, I do live close, but I can't actually see it from my house.
Right.
So
Yeah,
it's like I feel like we're trying to police it. Like, oh, let me ride by and make sure it's nice out, and make sure it's okay.
Yeah.
And honestly, the fields can't take any more play than what is already on them. They are. I told you, after 1 week, they are already looking rough.
yeah, yeah, which is a shame. Those darn cleats. No, really. Yeah. I'm not sure what the solution would be for that. Now, obviously, the fields, the ground itself, you know, we can't keep people off it because the parks are open to everyone. The equipment, though, that is one thing that, you know, it's not really there for public use because you guys own the equipment.
Right.
So, and for convenience and courtesy, you guys leave them out. But, I mean, I can't come up with a way to keep people off of that without you guys packing everything up every time and then getting it all back out, you know? Yeah, right, exactly.
Crisco it is.
Oh, my goodness, there we go.
Yeah, cheating.
Oh,
Yep, olive oil, some kind of cooking spray.
oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Yeah.
You want the
Yeah.
cameras first?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm thinking of, like you said, temporary signs. I mean, if we make something up that's just, you know, a piece of paper laminated and then, you know, just like affixed to the goal, and then like you guys would have to take them down and then put them back up, you know, between games and
Could zip tie
such.
'em.
I mean, so
Flip
like
'em.
we have,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
we have
true.
signs on the back of the nets
Yeah.
that we have zip tied. That's like field 1, field 2, field 3.
Right.
So I don't know if maybe we could we could put one on the side that's smaller, maybe. Or,
Right, something, yeah, right, yeah, really. But yeah.
I don't mind the kids using
Okay,
it, but like
right.
it's. I mean, if you
No,
drive
they
by
shouldn't
there, you
be
see
swinging
that, like,
on the, right, swinging on the,
they're
climbing
flipped
the
over, they're
nets,
swinging,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
yeah.
right, yeah. I mean, if you want to go that route and make the signs up, and you said you've got laminated signs on
We
there or
don't.
whatever?
They're not laminated. They're like it's like canvas or whatever, and it has like the rings in it that we.
Oh,
just
the
zip tie.
grommets,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
okay. So, you and I can discuss if you want, I can make up just, you know, 8.5 by 11 laminated signs and then, you know, give them to you and you guys could zip tie them wherever you want on the
Okay.
goals. You want to do something like that? At least that might,
I mean, it's worth a shot, and at least
even if it
we do
takes
have to call the
20% of them
police or
off.
something, at least they'll be like, well, there's a
Right.
sign here that says, please don't do it. So I don't.
Okay, think about the wording that you'd like to put on there.
I thought you were gonna do that.
Well, and email me. I mean, I don't know if you just wanted to, you know, equipment for soccer use
Yeah,
only.
property
or, you know,
of-
so
I'll
I
ask
don't
the
know.
field guys too if they
Okay.
have an opinion. 'Cause-
Perfect, yeah. And then email me. I'll get those made up.
okay.
And then I'll get them to you and drop them off at your house or whatever, and then put them on whichever ones you want. Okay.
All right, with that, any other questions? Kyle, you good? Okay. So it looks like our next meeting date, and hopefully you looked at it, Lorena, I came up with May 14th.
Correct, yes.
All right. So May 14th, 6:30, right here. And obviously, if, we know that everybody's in busy season or whatever, but try to have a representative here. And if not, then always, you know, get something to Lorena about what's happening. So with that, I will adjourn the Taneytown Athletic Association meeting for this month. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Kyle.
I appreciate it.
Yes, okay.
See ya. All right, we're just going to roll right in here. So, welcome to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board meeting for March 13th. And Mr. Hobbs is the only one that's absent tonight, so I'll let the records reflect that. And we'll start with approval of minutes. These minutes are, I can't believe it, from January 15th. Yep, January 15th. Did everybody get a copy of that?
Yes.
Okay. With that, do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve the minutes as presented.
Do I have a second?
I second that motion.
All righty. Is there any questions, reflections, any changes that need to happen? All right, so with that, I'm all in favor of approving the minutes from January 15th. Please signify by saying aye. Aye. All righty. All right, so we're just going to jump right along here. Unfinished business, I mean, Lorena, you've already
Yeah.
talked about the expansion project, so we can
Right.
check that off.
Yeah.
General park improvements.
Yes, the Neos, everybody is familiar with the Neos game wall down at Memorial Park, the blue game system. That surfacing is being replaced. The rubber tiles that they had there, old and unsafe, starting to degrade and tear and such. So our guys took all that up, and then playground specialist is coming in with the poured in place rubber solid surfacing. That'll be on the 20th, yes. So that'll be so much nicer. It'll look nicer, it'll last a lot longer, be more functional. That's good. And then now that spring is arriving, we can get back to some of the, what I call smaller projects that we have planned, like we're adding in the fence that's to go in at Memorial Park between the guys' shop and the big red and blue playground, and then that'll come down the little middle road there a little bit. We'll be repainting the lines on the basketball court at Roberts Mill Park. We're redoing the Memorial Park Pavilion ceilings, that cage wire. Ugh, I've long wanted to get rid of that. And it's bad for when, you know, like when birds get in
Yeah.
and they can't get back out, then I mean, how gross is that? You're sitting there, you're having a party, and you look up and there's a dead bird laying on that cage, that wiring. Ugh. So we're getting rid of that, and getting a price on pressed tin ceilings. And they'll be gray to match the interior paint of the pavilion walls. And that'll be nice, it'll be durable, it'll last forever. And even if there's spray paint vandalism, we can cover it. I can't tell you how much we're in stock on the gray paint now, because that's the color that we're going with on almost everything, yeah. And then adding some riprap around the pond. Again, you know, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
And again, I'm tracking all of expenditures like that are due to vandalism, basically. I mean,
So did you get a bid for the riprap?
not yet.
Okay.
I'm getting some pricing,
Okay.
current pricing on that, because originally I thought, well, we'll just get bigger rocks and then they can't pick them up and lob them into the water. But of course, the bigger rocks are pricier, so I kind of put it on the back burner. And then again, the more I thought about it, I thought, well, are these big rocks put here and there? Is that going to be a problem for people trying to fish? You know? It's going to be cheaper to put in the same size rocks that we have right now, so we'll just have to do that. And it might not be all of it all at once. I might only be able to afford to do, 50%, and then next year, do another 50%, that kind of thing. We'll see. I'll see what the pricing comes back at.
How much more would
Oh, my goodness, yeah. If it wasn't a liability concern, I'd make some of the court-ordered community service volunteers do that. So you can pick up litter, and you can go wade out into the water and pick up some rocks. Yeah, oh gosh. Yeah. yeah. So there are some projects on the list that the guys are gonna be getting to, or we'll have contractors do, so. Yes.
Well, you have been busy over the winter, getting everything together. All right. Update on events. So this is our busy season coming up now.
We're getting into
We're
it.
gonna rock and roll.
So
Okay.
yoga in the park is set now. Sean Essed, she took a break last year, and Miss Kim Galladay from the dance studio filled in. So Sean is back, and she's going to be doing 6 classes in the park on Monday evenings, June, July, and August. Birds and Bourbon at Bollinger is set. It's going to be
Saw that.
Saturday, October 18th, same time, 3 to 5. So hopefully, being on a Saturday, we'll get some more participants. And I'm hoping, of course, that the weather is good. The leaves might be pretty.
Oh, that might-
yeah.
yeah.
Hopefully, they'll be turning enough to make it a beautiful environment out there. Still waiting for Carroll County Arts Council and Taneytown Men of Faith to finish up, funding and planning for the movies in the park. We've got the dates. We just need to see if Carroll Arts Council will pay for those movie licenses. They're not cheap. Yeah. And then that's pretty much it. Dan's working on getting all of our events loaded up onto the website calendar on the city's website. And we put them all over our Facebook page as well. I sent them to the library, to Carol Vista, so try to get the word out. The first event coming up is our Easter egg hunt on Saturday, April 12th. Again, cross your fingers for good weather. It all kicks off at 1 o'clock. I will need volunteers to help set up, hide the eggs, starting at about 11:30, 12. I've got somebody to be the Easter bunny, so so we're all set on that. And again, we've got the same amount of eggs, 4,000 eggs, 1,000 for each age group.
That works. Just gotta get our walkie-talkies together.
Right, that's right. Walkie-talkies and kind of guide the kids, keep
Yeah,
them corralled
try to-
until we let them loose. Yeah,
It's gonna be hard.
right, yes. I had made up just a basic simplified list of events for Parks and Rec. I blasted that out there on our Facebook page, so that way people can see at a glance what we've got planned so far for this year. So it's a lot of events,
It's always, yeah. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Just obviously, you're doing all that you can for, social media and then putting it on the Taneytown website, but do you have something that at a glance to go into the library?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I've given them
Okay,
that,
you said
just
the
that,
library.
like,
Okay.
at a glance thing. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And they did a winter reading kickoff at the library, so I had it on the table there and was able to give that out.
Nice.
And I'm gonna I'll just update as we go along and just have it on the tables at our events. So gonna try to keep people informed. And then, I don't know, that begs the question, has anybody discussed anything about a city newsletter or some kind of printed publication?
No.
Right. I'm assuming they're just waiting for kind of Main Street to determine. Okay, just no. Okay. It's. Okay.
All right.
It would be just really nice, and I don't know, do you have that in your budget possibly to do like a mailer just for,
I was just thinking about that, just for that list of
just for, yeah,
events, yeah, kind of thing. I mean,
just to get it out to the families? I mean, I don't know.
I don't have it in the budget for that.
Okay.
I have,
I think we could, I mean, obviously. I was going to say if we could make copies or whatever and see if schools would distribute that, but I don't know. Kids are going to throw it in their backpack.
One thing that Casey, who I'm working with for the wine festival mentioned is about going to the print production class at the Career and Tech Center, because apparently they do really cheap printing. Might be cheaper than like what I
That's a
usually
good
utilize.
idea, too.
I never even thought about that because I did not know that class existed. So
Yeah,
mentioned
That's a
that, so
great
it might be
idea,
a good option.
Can't hurt to ask.
yeah,
Gives them something to work on.
yeah.
Did we put something in the board down?
Oh, the bulletin board?
Yeah.
No, we should. I think
we
I'll
do
do
that,
that.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that needs a little freshened update. So that would be nice to put our events on it. Yeah.
I mean, we have a little tiny amount in the budget for event advertising for Wine Fest and Harvest Festival.
Okay.
So, and with those, I just been using Emmitsburg News Journal because it hits all of the Taneytown mailboxes and the prices are more reasonable than the Carroll County Times. So, that's kind of what I've been doing. I could always just forward the event list to Mike Hillman of the Emmitsburg News
And
Journal
see
like
if
we
he
did
can
before.
just cut it, cut
Right.
it per month or whatever. or
Maybe,
the-
yeah, yeah.
To see if he would work with us at this time, just because we're still in limbo until we know what's going on.
Yeah, I'll see what
I
I
mean,
can
does
do.
the city have, I mean, I know when we stopped putting stuff out, but I guess the budget was for Main Street funds to use that for mailing, right? And not city as a whole mailing. There's no light item for, okay.
Up, doesn't it? I mean, it's like it.
Right, I mean, I talked to Lorena about that too, but with our water bills, but it just comes in a postcard. And Westminster actually has theirs in an envelope, and they do have, like, just a blurb about, like, what's going on, and then the activities, and that's in there with the water bill. I mean, obviously, it's not gonna work for us, so, because we just have the postcard. Or, I don't know if we can,
That's it, and I don't know how, and I hate to say it like that, but I don't know how many people actually look at and read their bill. I think a lot of them just look at how much they owe.
Yeah.
Oh, great, okay.
Right,
And then they
yeah.
move on.
well,
But
yeah,
it-
you would,
but it- 'cause
yeah,
there is
get
a
the
little
bill
note
aside and then see
section.
what's going on,
Like there's a
yeah,
little section where, for notes.
yeah. I don't know. Again, just other options.
Right.
Does anybody have any thoughts? How we can get our,
Calendar of events,
Like an outdoor bulletin board down there?
kind of. And like the storyboards, just something that you could. I don't, again, it's very early, I don't know how they, I'm trying to think of how we could even do it, but there's a lot of kids that are there, all the time playing, or even the athletic events, or.
I could print off some copies and stick them in the little free library that we have down there.
You could try that, yeah.
This is kind of a bizarre option, but we could put it on like either the inside of the porta potty doors or the outside.
That's true too.
Hey,
But it have
Direct
to have
messaging.
stuff. Yeah.
right, and, yeah.
right,
Little
right.
unorthodox,
People
but
have
it
to
might
use
work.
it. That's actually a decent idea. Hey, I like that. Why not?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
People
yeah.
are.
It's a piece of paper though, so.
Right, exactly. I mean,
even
I'd just
something
print them off
else.
and tape them up in there.
And we have a place at
side of
Bollinger,
the,
we do, right at the park, to put
yeah,
any
it's
kind of flyers, right?
But
Or
we have
not
the
Bollinger?
brochure rack. I've been
Yeah.
putting the brochures in there for kids' activities and adult forest bathing, forest
Yeah.
meditation.
I mean, that would be fun to kind of, maybe smaller or something, like, go to the website for more information about upcoming events such as,
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
Wanted to like not print it off so much, we could always just have the QR code to the.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
They would love that.
Yeah.
Judy, I think it's a great idea to potentially, kind of similar to like we have out here. Just like kind of a bulletin board type thing, because, I mean, you're right, that Memorial Park especially, lots of foot traffic, lots of people coming through, different playgrounds and things like that. If you can find a nice centralized area, whether it's by the porta potties or whatever, like, while you're sitting there waiting for your kid, and you're like, oh, look, and, but no, I think that would be a great way to kind of feature what's going on in the parks at the park. Now, you're not necessarily going to pull in outside people who aren't already visiting, but you're still at least sharing with the people who are already aware of the park, the things that are happening. Yeah. Yeah.
That rock thing too, we could always QR code to our events on the bottom of it, like when you paint it and then you flip it over and just put it there, and then people be like, oh, QR code, let me scan it, and it just shows all of the events. Yeah, like a print cutout. Maybe.
Well,
To spray paint the
Yeah.
QR code.
A
that's,
stencil, yeah.
so, and I'm still in the midst of painting the additional rocks, so I've got three more to go. 10 of them didn't come back, so we started with 10. But anyway, so I had to paint 10 new ones. But the back of the rock is pretty much taken up with the tag that says, please, take this rock to the library. But you find that rock and you take it to the library for a prize. It's a prize. It's one of our drawstring bags with a whole bunch of goodies in there. I could just print the list off and stick it in there, so that way it's going out to everybody on
Right,
that.
just creative ways of trying to
Yeah.
get the word out until we figure out what's happening. Yeah.
And then in June, the library has their summer reading kickoff program, so of course I'll have them on the table along with all the flyers for that as well. So
And of course, we'll have the flyers, out at our events too. So
yes, yeah.
we'll get the word out. All right, so you said most of, all the events, and Dan's working on all the events for
The website
the,
calendar.
okay, for
yes.
the website.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right.
So if you're available on Saturday, April 12th, to toss some eggs around on the ground, which is pretty much what we end up doing, with that many eggs, let me know. Be happy to have you help. And that's
Put me,
really
put me down.
all I have on
Okay.
events.
Does anybody have any questions or, okay. All righty. Oh, boy. All right, budget.
Like I said in the TAA meeting, the draft budget was submitted to the city manager and the treasurer. I'm waiting to hear back from them. I don't think, the treasurer, when I last asked, hasn't gotten a schedule yet. Normally, there's a schedule of, okay, your draft budgets are due by this date. We're going to have a meeting to discuss on this week, during this week. And then the budget workshop for the public is going to be,
I was gonna say,
introduction,
that would
passage,
have to
and all that
happen
kind of
in the
stuff.
next couple.
Right. So I don't
Okay.
know. Yeah, I don't think there's a set schedule.
You don't
but
have a time frame.
I
Okay.
don't know.
Okay.
No. And I sent you all the copy of what we submitted.
Yes.
So it kind of fluctuated a little bit, like maintenance and repairs, I think, went down. Materials and supplies went up a little bit because we're at a really good point with maintenance and repairs right now. And the materials and supplies are basically things that our guys are taking those materials and making something with it, just is how it's coded. Maintenance and repairs, usually that's, if our guys aren't doing it, then it's like an outside contractor or whatever, they're doing that. So that went, the materials and supplies went up, maintenance and repairs went down. Events stayed about the same. Capital, we've got the Memorial Park expansion on there, so that's a hefty bill. The Roberts Mill Park Playground was on there, but when I spoke with playground specialists, we went out to take a look at all the playgrounds to see how much playground mulch we needed. But I also asked him to really take a look at the Roberts Mill Playground to see if we could wait until next year to redo that, because that's gonna be pricey, as everything is these days.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you know the size of the footprint of that playground. The tot lot at Memorial,
That was, yeah.
that was, you know,
pricey. Yep.
110,000, I think, whatever. Most of which was paid for by our program open space grant funding, so phew, that's good. But, I mean, we'd be looking at least 175, 180,000 for the Roberts Mill Park playground. So,
Funding's not always,
not a guarantee.
kind of up in the air right now.
Exactly. Plus, I mean, we have to front the money anyway.
Yeah.
Then we get reimbursed
Yeah.
after the project's done. So, anyway, so that is going to be struck off of the budget of the capital list for FY '26, the playground over there. We will push that to FY '27, so that'll be calendar year 2026. That playground will be replaced.
Okay.
Anybody have any questions on that? Updates?
Hey, so I've been in contact with a resident who would like to make a donation toward creating a meditation garden at Bollinger Park. The location would be between the pollinator meadow and then going back into the woods, going back up the trail. So there's an open space there that we could utilize for this. I've given you all the drawing of it that was created by the resident who wants to make the donation. I've gotten, and on the back of it is the estimated cost. So I've gotten pricing for the little 10 by 10 gazebo, the concrete walkway, the engraved pavers, the landscaping, the hardscaping, the concrete work, and all of that. And that's what we're looking at. So it comes out to about $16,000. And that is for a roughly 3,000 square foot detailed garden. Oh, and it would also have some inspirational signs, not shown really on this drawing, but, you know, inspirational quotes. So this meditation garden would be a focused area for people to, obviously, to meditate, to get some fresh perspective, just to be out of nature and hopefully get a little bit of rejuvenation,
yeah.
some serenity, some clarity, you know, all of that. So I think it's a great thing. And also, the park, when we were first envisioning and planning it, you may remember this, but there was a meditation/sculpture garden in the plans. It just didn't get, you know, finalized and formalized, and it wasn't done. It just kind of dropped off because we were at the point where we were up against those grant deadlines, and we just get the project done and the park open. So we're gonna see what we can do on this, on making this a reality. Cedar Hedge Farm would be the one to work on the landscaping and some of the hardscaping. I would probably get that little 10 by 10 gazebo from Pine Creek Structures. They'd just drop it right in there, deliver it, construct and deliver it. So that would be easy. So we'll see how it goes. Got the budget together, and now we just need to do some planning. Any questions on that before I move on? And then a little free library was installed at Memorial Park down by the chess checker table by the big red and blue playground. I want to thank Jim Thomas with Envision Taneytown for building it and donating it to us. And also our local library for donating some books to start us off with. They also gave us some bookmarks and pens, so that's nice. It'd be nice. And I posted the pictures out there on Facebook, and apparently already it's getting some love. You know, people have been donating books and using the books and all of that, so that's good. So fingers crossed that will stay and be well loved and well used. Oh, and I also want to thank, how could I forget, our Public Works guys for putting the post in, constructing the reinforcements, and putting our little library sign on it, and getting it all situated.
Boy,
They do
you're
such a
keeping
great
them
job.
busy, aren't you?
I'm telling you.
No, they
yeah,
do an awesome job.
they do.
I don't think
Yes.
they get kudos enough, but we appreciate them.
Yes. And then my last thing is DNR, the Forest Service, donated 4 12-foot high, I think I told you 12-inch.
You did.
It was a typo.
I know, and I looked at it
It's
and I thought-
12-foot high. I mean, these things are huge, 20-gallon
Nice.
buckets and everything.
I
For
would have seen them and thought, ooh, those grew fast.
Right, they're red maple trees, and so we planted, Public Works, thank you again, guys, planted, it was not an easy job for big trees like that. Put those in Flickinger Park, because we did lose a couple in the Bob Flickinger Memorial Tree Grove there, so that'll fill that back in. And we may be getting some trees from the library. Every spring, they do a program through DNR and for free trees. Now, these are little ones. These are little whips, like 12, 14 inches high of whatever species, the DNR wants to give to them. And then parents sign up to get them, but there are inevitably those that aren't collected. They just don't get picked up. So I think last year, the year before, we took some and planted them out there on the road frontage at Ballinger. So this year, we'll see what species they are, and maybe we'll put some more out at Flickinger. And we've had an uptick as well, I don't know if it's the nicer weather or what, in requests for memorial trees and memorial benches. So we're getting those out there installed and planted. That's all I have for that.
That's on the website too, to get,
I believe so, yes,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I gave that to Dan, I think that's its own page, yeah, under Parks and Rec.
okay, gotcha. All right. All righty. Anybody have any questions in regards to any updates? All righty then.
Just a question about
Yeah.
the meditation garden. You said this kind of came to you via a resident, correct?
Yes.
And they're interested in donating a portion of the funds, or what portion of the funds? Or are we talking about?
Don't know
Okay,
yet,
all right.
yes, yeah. Yeah, we wanted to come up with the budget first, to get an idea of what bottom line we're looking at. And then we'll go from there. I mean, I just finished getting the final estimates from Cedar Hedge today, so I finished this up and sent it to the resident, and then we'll meet and we can discuss, what their donation might be, what we can help out with, and then what the balance is that we'll need to get from fundraising or donations or grants. We'll go from
All right. New business, marketing for Wine, Art, and Music Fest.
I'm going to turn that over to Nancy. Yeah, she's the expert on this, yeah.
So I've been corresponding with Casey Capise, who was actually at the Taneytown Wine Festival last year. She mentioned that she'd have an interest in donating some of her works to us. So it's very early stages right now. We just need to start giving her vendors essentially to get this all started. But she is using where we'll have different vendor profiles, things of that nature pretty much, just where we can post it and get people excited. Maybe there's a specific vendor that they really resonate with that they know about. So the goal is that we have these on our Facebook page and are able to advertise these. She's very quick and easy to work with too, and I'm excited to see what her work is. So.
I'm still in the process of recruiting beverage vendors. So I think right now we've got 9. So I want to get some more, obviously, fill in some more wineries, some more breweries. I think we might be okay on distilleries. We are completely full on food trucks. So we should be good on that. Actually, for all of our events, we're tapped out on that, so that's good.
That means they're making money,
Yes.
which means they want to come back.
Right, exactly.
Which means we're doing something right.
Right, right. Yeah, and for the Wine Fest, normally for all of our other events that we have food vendors that we don't charge them to set up. We don't take a percentage of their profits or anything. But for Wine Fest, we do have a fee, and that's $100. So they're paying that, and they're making much more than that, obviously, if they're coming back and paying that. It's still cheaper. It's a lot cheaper than
Yeah, the
other
Carroll,
wine festivals,
Right.
food
was
vendors.
that the Carroll County Wine Fest? Yeah.
Yeah, I
Paid a
know.
pretty penny just to get a
Yes,
spot.
right. I know Gettysburg charges, they have a 2-day festival, I believe, and they charge the food vendors $400 per day. Both days, so that's $800 for this food vendor, so, but obviously, if they're making enough profit to make it worthwhile, then they'll pay it, and they're coming, so that's good. I already showed you all the glass lanyard, so we got those to go into our VIP bags. And the sponsorship information went out. We've received three checks, 3 sponsorships so far, so that is good. Hopefully we'll get some more in. We're still getting vendor forms coming in, so it's all shaping up. So I think, and I think we've already sold 3 tickets online. So all right, that's fine. That's good.
Hey, that's all right.
Yeah.
So you can start buying your tickets.
Right, that's right. So, and with Mackenzie and Casey working on getting the marketing spruced up, I think it's gonna be a great year.
So that's Saturday, June 7th.
Correct.
Everybody put that on their calendar. That's a long day for everybody who volunteers, so. But fun, for sure. All right, does anybody have any questions in regards to that? Okay, so, reports. Mr. Harvey, any reports?
Nothing to report.
Any reports?
Nope.
Okay, I have not. So no reports from council for us?
Oh, I think, yeah.
Okay. All right. All right, so with that, nobody here, so. The next meeting date that I have for us is April 16th. That will start at 6:30. You will be coming back from conference, so you'll give us an update on all the fun things that you learned at
Yes.
conference.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because we've got the conference from the 8th through the 10th, and then
And
the
then
Easter
the
egg hunt
Easter
on the
egg.
12th, and then our meeting.
So, yeah, long week and a half.
Right into it, yeah.
You certainly are, so. Certainly are. All right, if we don't have anything further to discuss, I will take a motion to adjourn. Yeah, everybody wants to say.
I'll move to adjourn.
Thank you. I was like, we can say no. I'll take a second.
Second.
All right, all those in favor of adjournment, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, we will see you next month. Thank you.